So I'm starting off with my favorite primer, the YSL Touche Éclat primer, and I'm just putting this in all the areas where I have fine lines or where I'd get oily first, because this is a very fresh makeup look. We won't be baking. So for the base, I'm using my St. Ives moisturizer, my Maybelline Fit Me in the color Toffee, and also in the color 250, I believe Sun Beige. I mix them all together and I just put the excess from the brush on my face, and then I'll be using this beauty sponge from Eco Tools just to press this into my face. Now warning, this will look like almost white. It will have like a white cast to it, but that's just the moisturizer. The more you blend it in, it's just literally going to soften out and become exactly the color of your skin, provided that you're using the right foundation. So as you will see, it looks like it has a white cast, but as soon as the moisturizer is absorbed in my skin, it just comes to a beautiful natural color. Now for concealer, I'm using the Makeup Revolution in the color C12, and I'm dotting this right under my eyes just to cover up the dark circles. We're not trying to highlight and contour, we're literally just concealing. So I put that also on my forehead and down the bridge of my nose, around my nose because I have quite a little bit of darkness there, and on my chin. And I will just blend this out with the same sponge that we used earlier, but before that, I'm taking this other Makeup Revolution concealer. I'll put the name in the description box below, and I just put that like on my problem areas because I had a few breakouts in those areas, and I used it to cover that up. And now as you can see, I am blending everything out with the same sponge on the same side where I used the foundation. And as you can see, I'm not putting a lot, so it's not extremely full coverage covering everything. It's just really covering a little bit of the darkness under my eyes. And you can see I'm not bringing it down all the way to the cheeks. I'm really focusing it right under the eye and on the eye because we will be wearing eyeshadow. She did have some nice, like a smoky kind of eye on. Now I'm putting a little bit of a lighter concealer because that one's exactly the same color as my skin. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the color 20. And I'm just dotting a little bit of that under my eyes again, my forehead, the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, and on my chin. Those are just the areas where it's quite dark, where we just want to highlight it a little bit and make it look a little bit bright without adding too much extra coverage. So I blended it out with my fingers just to warm up the product, and then I got the flat side of the foundation brush, which was clean, so it could absorb all the extra product, and that was blended out. Now to contour, I'm using this LA Girl I'm using this Makeup Revolution foundation stick in the color F14, and this has a nice cool tone and it's foundation, so it's not too full coverage like a concealer, and it blends beautifully. So you can see I'm just putting it in the hollows of my cheeks, my forehead, underneath my chin. I'll also put this on my nose for my nose contour because Meghan has like a very straight, like defined nose. I don't know if it was contoured or not, but it really looked great. So I put a little bit under my nose and then on the sides. Now I'm using this Real Techniques angled contour brush, and I'm just using this to push the concealer into my skin. I mean the foundation. As you can see, I'm not rubbing it in circular motions or dragging it. I'm literally patting it in exactly where it is, and I'm doing the same all around the perimeter of my face where everything is put. And I know it looks slightly harsh right now, but trust me, it's going to even out. It's gonna look perfect because after every step of everything, whether it's powder or cream, we are going over with the beauty blender, and that's just what makes everything nice and soft. And I really liked how this turned out using the brush on my nose. As you can see, I'm literally just patting it all the way straight up to my eyebrow, and it made literally the perfect contour. I'm going to be doing this all the time. And now I'm just blending that at the bottom of my chin in the same way. And now we're going over with the beauty sponge. As you can see, that's just going to soften everything out, and she has really beautiful pronounced cheekbones, so I decided to go for that look as well without making it look heavy. Now to highlight, we're using this Makeup Revolution drops in the color something golden. I will list it in the description box below as well. And I'm using the same beauty sponge just to blend it out. I like how it's blending everything together, so I made sure I used the same foundation side. Then I also put it on the bridge of my nose, after I blend it out. You really have to put this fast because it dries really quickly. So I was putting it like in the areas and then blending, then moving on to the next place. So it was the nose, then the forehead. Now I'm taking this banana powder by Makeup Revolution as well, and I'm just setting my under eyes with this and a little bit under the sides of my cheeks. We don't want to look too like matte and powdered because she really looked like almost like she wasn't wearing makeup because it was that flawless. Just looked like skin. Now to contour, or mainly to like bronze up over the places where we already contoured, I'm using this powder from Physicians Formula. It is in the color bronzer, and it's a really light color. And then I went in with the sleek contour, and that just adds a little bit more depth in the cheekbone area, and I literally only put it there and then a little bit on my forehead because it gave me the perfect contoured look that I was looking for. And now I take the foundation stick and just go under the contour just to clean it up a little bit because it was looking a little rough. Now I'm moving on to brows, and I'm using this Makeup Revolution brow wiz. Just a disclaimer, this is not sponsored by Makeup Revolution. I just happen to love the brand. So yes, I really like this skinny pencil that I got from them. This is actually the first time I've used it in a video, and only the second time I've used it like on my face. And I really like it because it's very natural. And after I just put it through my brows a little bit, I went with this Elf, I believe it's Elf. It's been a long time since I've had it. I just put that through the ends. It's just a brow powder. And now for the lid, I put the transition shade. Well, I put a matte color all over my lid. Then I moved on to the transition shade, and then I put this little darker color, focusing everything in the crease and then blending it out towards the front a little bit. So after this one is all blended out, everything is like peachy, light brown kind of shades. And oh my gosh, I literally destroyed one of my shadows with the back of my brush while showing you. So anyway, I went into that slightly darker brown peach-like color and put that into my crease as well. I'm creating more like a C shape instead of the usual like V shape I usually like to create, because that's kind of the look that Meghan had. And then I'm only blending the outside part into like a little bit more of a V. And now I'm taking this e.l.f. eyeshadow. It's a lock-on liner and brow gel, I believe. And I just used this as a base, like a little bit of liner, because she didn't look like she had a black eyeliner. So this is also not too dark. So I put that as a base, and then I set it with that dark brown there, just to also hide the lash band a little bit and just make the eyes pop a little bit more. And I make sure to put it in the inner corners, and then I did the same with the darker color at the base of my lash line on my waterline, and then I blended it out with the lighter transition shade at the bottom. And now for mascara, I'm using my Lash Paradise mascara. I love this. I put it all through my lashes, and then I went ahead and put these lashes on off camera and put some bottom mascara on as well. Now I'm setting my face with the Makeup Revolution Illuminating Setting Spray. And onto the lips, she looked like she had a very like soft pink lip on. And I don't think she had liner, but I definitely can go without liner. So I just lined my lips with this slightly pink Rimmel Exaggerate lip liner. And then I went over the edges with just a little bit of brown, just because I like how it defines my lips, but a very, very, very light layer. And then I went in with this NYX matte lip cream in the color Stockholm. And I liked how it looked when put it on, but it just looked a little too pink for me. So I went over that with London. And now for highlighting, I'm using that silver champagne gold color to highlight my cheekbones. I really like this color. I always mix it with the gold one, but I noticed that Meghan's highlight was like very natural and bright. It didn't look yellow at all, so I decided to use the champagne gold alone on the tops of my cheekbones. Not too high because we want it to look natural. On my brow bone, my nose, the tip of my nose, and a little bit on my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin. And then I just tap that off as well with my beauty blender, because as I said, we want everything to look all natural. So now for the blush, I'm taking that peach and like orangey color, mixing them together. It's also a Makeup Revolution blush palette, and I used this all over my cheeks, and I put a very light layer and then went over with the sponge. And now this is when I'm putting the next layer of the NYX in London, and this gave me more of the perfect natural intro look, and this is the end of my video. I hope you think it turned out well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!